welcome to my channel, C Panda Crafts. In this video tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how I created this Halloween decor sign using my Cricut Explore Air 2, and this is a very beginner friendly project that you can do, and that is available in the Cricut community. I have made it public, so I hope you guys enjoy this video tutorial. Okay, so for this project, I am using this wood plank or sign, and I actually got this at the 99 cents only for a $1.99. And what I did is I just painted over this image with this chalk paint, and I just did a couple of coats. I'm sure you can use any chalk paint, but I had this left over from when I did some furniture, so that was the first thing I did. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to your Design Space home screen, and I'm going to show you real quick because it's not showing up on mine because this is my own account. I have it listed under the tags. Halloween, you can see right here, Halloween, poetry, skull, bird, paper crafts, stenciling. So there is the image, and so you're just going to scroll down. To find the project, you're going to scroll down to the first Cricut Access, View All, then you're going to go over to the Cricut Access drop-down menu and choose Cricut Community. And then from there, you're going to type in one of those tags. So I'll just go ahead and put Halloween. And it's going to hopefully show my project. Like I said, it's not allowing me to see it on this page because it is my own. I'm logged into my own account, and it is in my Cricut projects. So just let me know if you guys have any issues finding that. But again, you're just going to scroll down to Cricut Access, View All, choose the drop-down menu, Cricut Community, and then type in one of those tags. So I think I had skull. And so you can see all the projects that have the tag skull that are available to the Cricut community, and mine is not showing up. And once again, that is because I am logged into my own account, and it is showing up under my own projects. So that is the first step to find the project. And again, let me know if you guys aren't seeing it, and I'll try to figure out how to fix that. Okay guys, so once you find my project, it should say Windy Heist. And guys, I apologize in advance, my dog, if you hear my dog snoring in the background. Okay, let me zoom you out real quick. Okay, so you should see Make It and Customize. So just go ahead and click on Customize. And then the image pops up. Sorry, I'm just zooming you guys in so you can see the buttons. I still haven't figured out how to do to basically where you can see my screen, so I'm actually recording the screen. Okay, so once you get into the image, you're gonna figure out how big your sign or whatever you're putting this on, how big that is. The wood board that I painted is almost dry, and it is 10 by 11, I believe. So I'm gonna go into shapes, and I'm gonna select the square. I'm just gonna go ahead and move that guy over, and then it is 10 by 11, so I'm just gonna go ahead and unlock this and then drag it out to be 10 by 11. It doesn't look like it's quite matched up, but okay. There we go. Oh, no. I've got to make it go up a little bit more. Okay, so now that I have basically my template, this is what the stencil is going to be. This is how big I want the stencil. I can go ahead and drag this over. Now, as you can see, it's going behind, so that really doesn't help me. So all I'm going to do, sorry if it was out of focus, I'm going to go up here to arrange. I'm going to make sure the bird, or the skull and the bird, is selected. And you know that when the box, the blue box, is around the image. And I'm going to go to arrange, and then I'm going to put move forward, and then there, now it's on top of the square, and I can move it around and position it to where I want it. And that looks, maybe I'll just move it over this way just a little bit more. Okay, so that's pretty much where I want it. So after that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use my mouse, or my, oh my gosh, my dog. And I'm going to go ahead and start dragging from over here and just select both of those. Once both of them are selected, I am going to go over to this button down here, and I'm going to slice it. All right, so when you slice it, if you did it correctly, it will look like nothing happened at all. Until you click on the bird and move it over, or the image and move it over, and you can see it cut that out. And then you're going to go ahead and click on it again and drag it over, and there we go. That is our stencil. And then we're going to go ahead and just delete these two. And really quickly, before I go ahead and load this onto the mat and send it to the machine, these little lines right here are going to be very delicate when you're weeding. So I've already done this project a couple of times, and it looks fine without the little lines. Just something to keep in mind. And also the teeth are a little bit tricky to weed out, but you can do it with a little bit of patience. Okay, so after that is done, I'm gonna go up here to the right corner and click Make It. So as you can see, you're just going to load it on the mat, load your vinyl or whatever you're using. I'm using a piece of, here, let me bring you guys up. I am just using this piece of vinyl, this 12 by 12. I think this is not an Oracle brand, but a brand that I got off of Amazon. It came in a big pack, and this is one of the colors that I'm probably just not the most fond of right now, because it is almost fall and I'm not going to be using it anytime soon. Okay, so I'm going to get this down on the mat pretty good. Okay, so once that's done, I am going to bring you guys back down. Sorry, I'm using my tripod, my little phone stand. Okay, let me zoom you back in. Okay, so once you have your vinyl loaded onto your mat, you're going to click Continue. Okay, so over here it's saying use the 12 by 12 mat, and mirror is off. And it's basically telling us no tool required in clamp A, load fine point blade, and load mat and press the load unload button. So we're gonna go ahead and go over to the Cricut. You guys like my ironing board setup? I have an ironing board coming out of the wall, and it's perfect to hold my Cricut. So I'm gonna go ahead and load this into the machine. And I want to make sure my settings are on vinyl. My setting is on vinyl. And then I'm going to go ahead and click the load button. And then I'm going to hit go. Okay, so my Cricut has just finished cutting, and it's really hard to tell. But I think I might need to get a new blade. But it is ready to be weeded. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit the unload button. And then I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how I get the stencil off the mat and then use the transfer tape to transfer it to my board. Okay, I just turned on another light, so hopefully this is better. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this excess square because we don't need it. Okay, so this next part is probably the most important thing to remember when doing this, because this is a stencil. This is not like a decal or, you know, things like that. This, and I'm saying this because I just did this 10 minutes ago, even though I've already done this project before. You want to reverse weed. So you're not going to take the excess off. You're going to take the image off, leaving behind the little tiny pieces that are going to show up on the whatever you're using, if that makes sense. So I'm going to very carefully start weeding the image out and leaving behind whatever I want to be white, basically. So like I said, the little parts where the definition and his feathers, you kind of have to mess around with those because they're so thin, they'll just come right up. And honestly, it doesn't really, I don't think it makes that big of a difference. But you're just gonna, slower is better. It's not even, yeah, it's so thin that it's not gonna do anything. So I'm just gonna go ahead and continue. Like the little part, the separation in his legs, you have to be kind of careful to keep that down. Just the slower you go, the better. And like I said, once you get to the little teeth, it helps to just use your little tool and hold it down while you pull up. And if you need to, go ahead and like cut the excess off, whatever you've already pulled off. That way it's easier to pull up, if that makes sense. So as you can see, all the teeth are left behind nicely. And you just want to be really careful with the letters, especially like the E's, because they will come right up with when you pull. And it's a good idea to go back and look at the image as a reference if you're not sure if you should be pulling something off or not. See, like I did, I just pulled up the E, it's left behind, so I'm gonna try to take that out and put it back. I actually did it on both the E's after I just told you guys to be careful. Okay, so I'm gonna attempt to put this guy back. Okay, I think I almost got it. Yes, okay. There's one, now I just need to do the other one. Okay, so for the sake of this video, I'm not even gonna bother with that, trying to rescue that other E. but I still have the other two E's. I still have this little piece right here to take off. And again, there's like little tiny pieces that you don't really notice that you don't want to pull up. So there's like a little one right here, and I pulled it up. Oh well, it's kind of hard to tell, but it's right here. I'm just gonna try to move that back up with my tool a little bit and then press it down. There we go. So like little slivers like that you tend to forget about, and then it's really, really hard to get them back on. I don't really mind missing the E's too much, or actually I can just take a little piece of these that I'm weeding out and put in where the E's are. I don't know if that's gonna be any better. Oh, that's a little bit better. See, so you can always fix mistakes. Well, not always, but sometimes. Sometimes things just work out in your favor, and sometimes things don't. Okay, so the E's are fixed as much as they're going to be. And that looks like everything. You just want to go back and make sure, because some little pieces are so small that you'll just pass them up. And it looks like I got everything. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some transfer tape, and I will link the vinyl and transfer tape that I'm using in this video down below. I just went ahead and cut out a piece of transfer tape, and I really like this transfer tape. I bought it on Amazon. I like it because it has the grid lines and it's easy to line up, and each square represents an inch. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put this transfer tape on top. I'm going to peel this back, put it on top, and then I'm going to transfer it to the board. Okay, so this part can be a little tricky. You just want to be very careful when you do this. I'm going to go ahead and peel my transfer tape. And when you have a larger image like this, it's easier to go ahead and just peel half and then take that half, because you don't want to mess this part up. So it's easier to kind of just find the half mark and put it down like this, and then kind of just pull and then slowly move your hand across. And then you're just going to take your scraper tool and try to get out all the bubbles as much as you can. You might have some bubbles, and that's okay. You want to make sure that you are really getting this down around the edges and around the image. So next, I'm just going to carefully peel this back. And there's the image. And then I'm going to go ahead and find the center, or where I want it. I can't really. That's pretty, that's good. Okay, so now I'm going to use my scraper again and really get this down. just going to carefully peel off the transfer tape. Okay, so now we have the stencil down. Okay, so now I'm going to use some of this chalkboard paint. Any black chalk paint I'm sure would work fine. And then I'm going to I don't have any like stencil sponges or like stencil brushes, so I'm just going to use these cosmetic wedges. They will do just fine. I'm going to pour out some paint. Oh, this might be dried up or just really, really thick. Okay. Wow, that's thick. That's like tar. Okay. I'm making a hot mess out of my desk. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to very carefully just take like this square end and I'm going to load it up, and then kind of just using the leftover piece on here, I'm just going to like dab off the excess. You don't want it to be soaking. You just want it to be enough to do the job. So now I'm just using up and down motions. And I'm going to cover this thing. And I don't want it to be too wet, even though, I mean, the vinyl is pretty sticky and it's going to do a good job. It's just better to not just build it rather than doing too much. Otherwise, you run the risk of it bleeding. So I'm just going to do up and down motions on the entire thing. And I'm going to try to get in between. I think this works really well to get in between the little cracks. Alright guys, this is the moment of truth. As you can see here, I kind of messed up and I put more paint down and then it came up and it kind of created like this hole. But that's alright, I think it looks fine. It actually kind of looks like the definition of like a wing, which is cool. And like Bob Ross said, we don't make mistakes, we make happy accidents. So let's see how this looks. I'm going to go ahead and carefully, I'm going to start from the bottom and start peeling just because the letters are a little delicate. So I'm going to slowly kind of start peeling. And I let this dry for a little bit with a blow dryer. On the cool setting. I like to go at an angle. It's just easier. So far, so good. This vinyl is sticky. Okay, I'm gonna cut this off just because it's annoying me. Alright. Okay, I found my tool. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start using that to rip up the rest. Oh wow, it came out so good so far. Crossing my fingers for the rest. This came out better than the last one so far. guys, so that completes this tutorial. I hope it was easy for you to understand. This is my first time filming a Cricut project. However, I do have other craft tutorial videos on my channel, so go ahead and check those out if you're interested. And if you like this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and I would love to have you as part of my YouTube family if you're interested in subscribing. Until next time, I hope you have a great day. Bye.